Hello everyone, welcome to the RNG University. So today I'm going to play my own brew of a birthing pod deck in Teamer. Now the old birthing pod deck was supposed to be, the old enter the battlefield, cycle through mana cost. This time, because it's in standard, we don't have birthing pod, I'm going to try out the Fable of the Mirror Breaker using that effect. So I have a lot of ETB effects here in terms of the Gallo Greeter, obviously. I only have 2, so I didn't craft any more. Obviously running 4 will be better, but I also put in Topiary Stomper to kind of get my land drops in if I needed to. Aether Channeler, which is one of the best ETB cards in low curve. You can get a 1/1 bird with it, you can return a permanent with it, or you can get card advantage by drawing a card. And then for the forecast, I have Overcharge Amalgam to try to get a counter spell on a stick with Fable of the Mirror Breaker in. And then at the upper end, we have Titan of the Industry to get all of those juicy enter the battlefield effects. So within all of that, we kind of have any kind of ATB effects we need. And then to copy with Fable of the Mirror Breaker over and over in the long run. Now, in addition to that, we also have a few red cards to help us stay alive. We have Torch Breath to counter those pesky mono blue, the counter spell decks. We also have Fires of Victory to have a draw spell that's attached to a burn effect. And we can use it early game just to have a burn effect without the draw spell to kind of have early game removal to stay in the game. And of course, we have Burn Down the House to burn down the house, deal 5 damage to the board, can really help us. Or we can also get the 1/1s out to have the cycle effects with, or the casualty effect would make disappear, the exploit effects with Overcharge Amalgam, and also to copy with the Fable and Mirror Breaker if we got to do an extra 1 damage. We have 26 lands total, but you can see here in the 26 land pool, I have 3 islands, 3 mountains, and 3 forests to help us get the Topiary Stomper's basic land criteria out of the way. I also have a lot of these dual cycle lands with the slow land and the ping land to help us kind of fix our curve, fix our mana pool. Now, I did run 1 Otawara, 1 Sokuzan, and 1 Boseiju, but there's definitely a reason to say that these should be replaced with basic lands for Topiary Stompers. I'm just running them for now just to see how it works out. That is my deck that I'm submitting. I'm not sure it's going to do well in the current meta, but let's try it out and see what happens. Alright, so game number 1, let's see who we play against. And we're going to face up against you can't control cards you draw to show only instant cards in the deck building. Alright, so that was all the tools that we're going to read. Now we're going to face Tremendous Turtle. So this guy's probably going on a blue. Alright, so we have 2 lands in the opening hand of our 26 land deck. There are no 2 drops for us to play, and it's probably not a good call to keep this hand. Of course, our opponent's taking forever. Let's mulligan. And now we have 4 lands and 3 spells. We're definitely going to keep, and we're going to put back... I don't know if I want to put back... Yeah, I will put back this mountain because I have a storm carved coast. And we'll say hi. Hello. So, the first play, storm carved coast. And we're trying to get off either Fable or Topiary Stomper on turn 3. Now it looks like only the Stomper. So, we're just going to do that. Nothing we can play on this turn, but the Thalia is definitely going to attack us. Peacekeeper. Oh, that's annoying. It's going to stop our Stomper, huh? Well, we faced up against a pretty aggressive tax deck, and we went second, so I don't know if there's anything we can do to go against that. If he doesn't name the Stomper, I'll be very surprised. But he is taking forever, so maybe he doesn't know how to play the Anointed Peacekeeper, and he's looking through the list of cards instead of just typing the name. Maybe we'll make disappear. I mean, bad players will do that. They see counterspell, they quaver in fear. I'm just anti taking forever for my opponent. Sometimes people do that. There it is. Alright, so we can't play the Stomper next turn. And we definitely cannot play Make Disappear on nothing on the board, so we're gonna have to pass turn and see what he plays. We're going to take a lot of damage, and hopefully we draw our burn down the house eventually. Fable the Mirror Breaker definitely will come into play at some point. They're attacking us for 5. It's a hurtful attack. And now they're playing Guardian of New Benalia. We cannot make disappear this because they can pay, so there's no reason to waste our spell. Alright, now we have 4 mana. There definitely is a call to play Aether Channeler to bounce either the Thalia or the Anointed Peacekeeper. Probably the Peacekeeper will be the better call to bounce. Or we can make a 1-1 to block 2 things on the board. That's also a good play, but Fable the Mirror Breaker lets us kind of cycle through our deck a little bit better. And if we need to block with the Goblin Shaman, we will. It's not really doing anything. It could help us ramp out the burn down the house 1 turn earlier. Oh, well, Guitar is going to stop that. Alright, we're probably going to die. That's a lot of board. And we can't really play anything, and that's a lot of creatures. Well, opponent is mono white. They went first with tax, so it's just like the old standard. Alright, we're at 6. I don't know if any card draw can get us out of that, but let's see. Well, those are not it. Alright, so the Channeler can help us bounce a creature where we can block one of these and we'll still take 6 based on that. The Channeler can also help us put out a 1-1. Which means that we can block 2 and we'll still take 6. So, yeah, that's GG then. Good game. Well, I don't think that there's any deck that could have faced up against that kind of tax going first. Maybe if we play an aggressive mono green deck, or maybe if we played or drawn our, what's that called, the stupid box topper. Something valet. Whatever, the green 2-drop. That would have helped. Alright, we're going first. We got 3 lands. No reason not to keep, even though we have no 2-drop. Let's see. We have a green, so let's drop the blue-red first. Okay, Xander's Lounge. Very fun. We got Make Disappear for whatever play they're going to make this turn. And if it's nothing, then we'll put out our Fable. Fable's always good. You can cut this down, I guess. There it is. I maybe a call for pitching our Make Disappears for next turn. Leyline Binding. What? Yo. You want to bind a Fable? I don't know about that. So we can get our 2/2 back out, but I don't think there's a rush for that. We can do it whenever, and Topiary Stompers help us ramp out an extra land. Let's do that. Get another blue out. Didn't draw a land that turn, but we draw a thing that makes land, so just as good. Maybe we'll Leyline Bind this too. Okay, so Xander Lounge, Jetmere Garden. This is definitely one of those domain decks. Can't block that. Makes a 1-1. Okay, we get our 5th land out. We can get this little guy back. Or we can draw a card. Both are valid things to do. I think drawing a card calls for a better play. I hate the auto tapper with these ping lands. Alright, let's draw a card. I don't think there's a reason to bounce anything. He'll just replay it, right? So it's probably better just to draw a card. We play a land this turn, so no reason to play another land. Or we can't really play another land, but we do have Make Disappear open if we gotta make something disappear. Gotta wait till we get our Titan. Oh look, it's Zur. So yeah, let's make that disappear. Casualty our Stomper? No, we're gonna get to 7 land pretty soon. So no Zur. No sir. No Zur, sir. Alright, that's 1 Zur down. There's probably like 3 more in that deck. That's fine, we can take that damage. Oh, they're getting a card draw, which is not good for us. But we can do this again. And draw another card. Okay, second Stomper it is. Well, I tapped all my green sources. I couldn't play a second Stomper there, but it's probably better not to play a second Stomper because I need to have to make this appear open. Like I said, let's do this again. Well, now I can get rid of the, actually, which one should I sack? Probably the Channeler. The Topiary Stomp, well, I might burn down the house next turn anyway, so I don't need the second Stomper up. Does he have a counter spell in between my casualty? He might, but I don't know if there's a play around that. Of course, opponent can always tank on their turn. That's the thing that he can do. Okay, so the day 2, and then it gets countered. Why did it do that? Okay, now we can block one of these guys, the Spirited Companions. Is there a call to block the Spirited Companion on this turn? Well, yeah, 2-1, trading with a... Trading with a 2-2. I can trade the next turn and still with a 2-2, so... I guess I'll do it. With the token? With a token. Ouch, it hurts. Oh, they draw their card and we draw our Gala Greeter. So, we can play the Greeter and the Topiary Stomper this turn. The good thing about that is we get the Greeter to trigger. The bad thing is we don't leave up mana for Overcharge Amalgam. So, there might be a play to just play the Gala Greeter and then Amalgam whatever he placed on his turn. Because we are going to have to counter it and eat off our own Gala Greeter, unfortunately. Or maybe I'll eat the Amalgam. Both are valid plays. Alright, we're going to take 4 here, which I don't like to, but we will take it. He's going to have to play something on his turn. He doesn't. Okay. So if he doesn't play anything, we can burn down his house. Or we can play the Topiary Stomper to... actually, Topiary Stomper is probably bad here. This is an interesting play. So if we don't play anything on this turn, we are just conceding to our opponent's free roll, right? And if we play Burn Down the House, we can get 3 1-1s out, but then that 3-1-1 is really not going to trigger anything good. We have to pass this turn because we did not draw a land. This is probably the worst draw we could have had because we already had an Amalgam in our hand. Alright, we're going to go down to 7 here. If we end this turn, we'll play our Overcharge Amalgam. Create a tap treasure token, and we're not going to exploit, obviously. Does he have an exile effect? He has a Leyline Binding again. For our second Amalgam. Okay, so now our Amalgam really only costs 3 if we combine it with the Aether Channeler. Let's get a Topiary Stomper on to get an extra green land. We need extra blue land. Does he have a counter spell for the Topiary Stomper? That would be kind of weird. It is Zerdy Enchanter deck. There is blue. There could be another removal. They could have a third Leyline Binding, which, I mean, he can bind the Gallagher to stop me from gaining life. Or they can just tank on their turn. Okay, so this time we need a 2 life. And we'll get our last blue out because we have a lot of green and red sources. No, let's get a green out. And slowly claw back on our life total. They definitely have a counter spell, because every time we play a spell, they tank forever from their turn, so I don't know how to go up against a counter spell without just abuse the amalgam, which we'll have to do. Oh, Stomper's gonna block. Maybe they have a field clean? Hook for 2. Oh, I was right. Okay, so if they're hooking for 2, let's see, we have 3, 1, 2, 3 mana open. We can counter that hook with our amalgam. Probably necessary, and he could have a counter for my counter. But let's see if he counters this. Does that make this appear? Okay, so now we can draw a card, or we can bounce one of these. Bouncing the Leyline Binding could help us make a little guy, but that doesn't really do anything. Burning down the house doesn't do anything right now, aside from pressuring, and pressuring isn't that important when our opponent is at 20 something, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. We only have 4 mana. We cannot Fires of Victory anything with the kicker, so we have to wait till we untap. If they have a creature, we can Torch Breath it. Our turn. Alright, so we just really die to a Zerg because we can't stop a Zerg, but we have to play this out. They cycle. Actually, if we play a Zerg, I can bounce the Leyline to get the Overcharged Amalgam out. Right now, I cannot play Fires of Victory. I can bounce this Leyline, but it will just come back out again. So that's not really a point to that. Do I want to drop this land? Well, let's attack first. Alright, so dropping this land gets us to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Gets us to 8 mana, but holding it makes our Fires of Victory does 5 damage. How strong is Zerg? It's a 1/4. We don't need to do 5 damage, so it's fine. Okay, so nothing's really going on, but we got 2 burn down the house now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We just have 3 mana, which means that we cannot Alto Aura. That means we probably should not burn down the house right now. The Wandering Emperor, huh? If he's going to exile...
I've learned much during my travels. Let me show you.
He's making a 2/2, huh? Okay, so if he's making a 2/2, we will... Oh, he's making a 3/3. So we will Fires of Victory the 3/3. We draw a card and kill that. gonna negate my Fires of Victory. Okay, well, did not see that coming. Is he gonna block? He does block. Alright, so I probably should Torch Breath this for one. And if he has Zur, I just die. He has another counterspell? How does he fit all the counterspell in his Zur deck? Out another
Let
samurai.
your blade do the talking.
Potentially another damage for us. We're gonna have to burn down this house. We can make 3/1/1s. The 3/1/1s will attack, two of them will attack the Emperor, while the other one blocks the 1/1, or we can deal 5 to the board and we have nothing on the board that way. So I think 3/1/1 is more called for. But that hook will probably kill us, honestly. Make disappear. What if I just don't pay it? I mean, what was the point of that? You're -1? No, you're not.
Strike fast and strike hard.
Does he have removal? Everything's gonna go towards the Emperor.
See you later.
Temporary lockdown. Huh? I can counter the temporary lockdown and get a 3/3 out. I think that might be a good play. Not really using the auto war in any other situation, I guess. Oh, okay. So the temporary lockdown is going to kill all of my 1/1s. Right. So is there a reason to let all the 1/1s die? Yeah, that's fine. It's not really doing anything on the board here. And I really need to get this Fable out. Now I have 2 counter spells ready. In case he has another Zur. I'm gonna cut down the 2/2. That's fine. Unfortunately, that just means that now the Overcharge Amalgam has to eat itself. Just a 4-mana counterspell. Leyline Binding. Interesting. So, do I want to cycle my... Not really. Alright, we got a Sokazen. That can deal damage. Just gonna use that and kind of grind them out slowly. It'll be so good if we can draw a... It'll be so good if we can draw Titan of Industry, but hey, chances are we're gonna draw lands, right? So, is there a reason to draw this land? We can hold for Fable and we don't need all this land out. Drew a counterspell, we drew a land. Zer the Enchanter, huh? Well. You can exile this, but the exploit is still on. Play the instant speed leyline binding on your turn. That was the smart play. I don't know. A little bit tilted. Oh, I'm drawing our useless cards. Opponent's drawing the tech they need to kind of come back in the game. Yeah, look at this. I'm not gonna play a land. I'm not gonna play a land. All these lands are useless. They draw their force Zer. Okay. Thanks, deck. And then they can attack us for lethal. So yeah. That is the way we play that game. We were so much in a commanding lead. 4 Titans of Industry, not one of them drawn. They drew all 4 of their Zer, even though we have so much more drawing capabilities. Sometimes that's the way Magic plays, right? So Charles M. Solanka. I go first. We got the Gallagher, no green, no way we're keeping his hand. Alright, this time we still go first. Probably pitch back the Titan, even though I really wanted a Titan last game. Not really going to be able to play that early game. No blue, even though we have Make This Appears. Make This Appears twice. Okay, now we have a blue, so can't really play that this turn, doesn't matter. Drop the Stormcat. Alright, 1 island, 2 island, mono blue deck. So we could just run out the Fable and get it countered. Not really a point to that, but yeah, there's not really a point to turn 2. They could consider, if they considers, their Impulse. Alright, so we got punished for not playing Fable. But that's fine. I really want to play Fable on their turn 3 so that we don't let them do Thirst for Discovery or Thirst for Knowledge, whatever it is called. And if it gets countered, then they can't really draw any cards this turn. There it is. And of course we miss a land draw because 26 lands is not enough in this deck. Okay. So now we have 4 lands. We have 2 Make This Appears for their stuff. Let's make the Thirst disappear. I can't have that out. He's going to ram. Or he's going to filter out his deck too much. 5 lands. Valerian Horror. I'm going to make that disappear too. I have a Spell Pierce. He has 1 mana open. He's holding onto his Spell Pierce for whatever reason. Well, you can Spell Pierce a Topiary Stomper. You could. I don't know what you can do. But, okay, let's look for a 3rd green source in case we need a Titan. Now we can fire a Victory for 1 damage. Like an idiot. Polygen. So, Fable's probably going to get countered, right? There may be a call for Fires of Victory. I don't think the opponent's going to counter it. That would be kind of dumb. Yeah. Alright, he lets our Fable through. Mistake on the opponent's part. He only has 3 creatures or 3 spells in the graveyard, so right now it's a 3/4. At most, he can probably make it like a 7 if he wants to attack me for 7 next turn. We're not exactly dead, so I can live with that. Topiary Stomper does not reach, so even if it can block, it won't be able to block the Djinn. 2nd Djinn, huh? Interesting. I don't think the Amalgam... the Amalgam is a creature, and they have a lot of counter non-creature spells, so the Amalgam might be able to stop something, but it does cost too much for Burn Down the House and Amalgam to come in the same play. I need 9 mana. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 mana. No, I think I should keep that. Second Stomper, that's kind of weird. Alright, so if I try to burn down the house, I will have 1 mana left, which means that if it gets countered, I can't really do anything. So let's get a second Stomper out. See if he wants to counter that. And if the second Stomper comes out, our Topiary Stompers can now attack. Let's also get a island, I guess. Since our Topiary Stomper is live, we can attack with both. And now our Amalgam is live, if we need it to be. We got 1, 2, 3. We can have that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 mana. If we draw a land next turn, we can burn down an Amalgam if we need to, but we're probably still in a bad position, honestly. There's 2 4/4s coming at us. And he has... Wow, okay. I was going to say he has all his lands open, but now he has none of these lands open. Probably has a March, though. So... we did not draw a land. We needed a land that turn. Alright, so if we burn down a house and he marches board, we just lose, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The Topiary Stompers really won't do anything if we stomp. Yeah. Damn it, we needed a land. We just needed 1 land. Oh, we're gonna attack anyways. See if there's a response. Definitely has a March in his hand. So now he's at 12. Burn down a house can make 3/1/1s. Oh, I should probably maybe. I really needed the Amalgam to come out this turn. So the Amalgam can come in and block one thing. That's not really good. He's just holding on to his March. I don't know why Wizards brought back phasing, because that is a horrendous ability for any deck to really have, especially in blue. And so like there's no interaction with phasing that you can do. But hey, sometimes your opponent's deck just beats yours, right? So 33 minutes in, I still have not won a single game with this brew deck. Maybe it's just it's not good, but I really think there are potentials if I just draw the right cards. And that you can say that about any deck, but when we're going against enchantment decks, we don't draw our Titan of Industry. When we go against mono blue decks, we don't draw our burn spell. Opponent goes first. We have 3 lands, but really nothing to play off those, so probably should mulligan this. All we need is a green to play Topiary Stomper, and everything else comes live. So I'm gonna keep. Hey, we're gonna lose anyways. Might as well lose in style. There's that green. But it's a Rafine Tower, so really, like any deck we play nowadays, just face up against Counterspell, and that is the worst feeling in the world. And if you play an anti-counterspell deck, the matchmaker would just put you up against like mono blue, or sorry, mono red or mono black, and all your counterspell really is pointless. Alright, so he has 2 lands open. Definitely gonna eat off my Topiary Stomper if we stomp it. Not really a point to let him get all his counterspell. He's playing Esper deck. two can play in that slow, drawn-out style game. Oh no, Wandering Emperor. Should we make that disappear or should we overcharge it? Nah, get out. What else we got? Land number 5. Tenacious Underdog. Wedding announcement. Okay. Now that he revealed his hand, we can reveal ours. Fill out our Gallagreater and our Topiary Stomper. Stomper will get us a land, and we will put a +1/+1 counter on our Gallagreater. We have 3 green swords, 3 blue swords, and 1 red sword, so we need a second red sword. There might be a call to making a treasure there, but we can kind of play any card in our hand without the treasure. If he wants to attack, we'll block the 2/2. We'll use the 2/2 to block the 1/1. Probably gonna hook, but the Gallagreater isn't really doing anything on the board. Oh, Emperor. Okay, so I think he's walking into to burn down the house, but that was a good attack, I guess, on his part. He gets to draw a card, and good thing we didn't create a treasure because that was completely pointless. Let us. Actually, we don't even need to. We don't even. I should have burned down the house. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
For this?
Okay, so I will not burn down the house since I didn't burn it down pre-combat, and I can hold up Amalgam in case I need to do that. Attacking with both creatures again. I'll take the Underdog. This way he has to hook for 2 to clean the board. Otherwise, all he does is draw a card. One, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so burning down the house means that I don't have Amalgam up. But that may be warranted. He has 5 mana open, so he could have a counter spell for my burn down the house. If we're just trading 4 for 4, I don't think we can win because his board is stronger than ours. So maybe it's call for to burn down the house right now. Oh, the Obscura Intercept. So, I'm not going to attack. I have a blocker to the Obscura Interceptor. If I need to block it, I probably do. I'm taking 4, so we'll go down to 10 life this turn. Not fun, but this is what happens when you're faced up against control decks, I guess. It's also very annoying that we keep getting bad draws against good draws. It always feels like that. Earth type, huh? No Earth type. Give another counter spell. Maybe he has a removal. He does have a removal. Alright, we're going to a pretty low life total here. 2 more damage and we die. So if he has a hook, we just die. Does he have a hook? He has 4 cards in hand. There's me hook. We lose. Okay, well, I guess the ETB deck's really hard to get off where we're not getting the early game correctly. Maybe letting my Gallagreater die was not the right play. I am not really quite sure if there was another play in that game. I honestly don't think I have a bad deck. The tech-wise might always lose to counter spells, and that is always a problem, but if I tech just for counterspell in 1-to-1 or best of 1 matches, I would just lose to all the aggro decks that apparently I'm not facing at all today. Opponent goes first. We have a very good hand. If only we went first, right? They're all 3 casts. And that might be a problem with this deck too. We have a lot of heavy 3 casts that eventually gets values if we can get it all. I bet it's going to be mono blue again. KRD. Honestly, I'm just in the gold ranks because I keep losing back down to 0. And I'm not really sure what I can do because if I just play like a, you know, top meta deck, then I'm not even having fun. But Wizards made it so that the game is really only top meta or nothing. And of course, we're playing against Jun, who has their turn 1 play out on us already. We can't channel her next turn. Fable, the Mirror Breaker, will just die to the Harvester. Unless we draw an island. Drawing an island will probably help us in our play next turn. But they're gonna Fable us, so yep. We can't ramp them this early game. And we're probably just gonna lose. So we need to we need to have Topiary Stomper out this turn and play a blue land because we need that right now. The Channeler might be able to get us a 1/1, but I don't even know if that can help this game. Burn down the house might help, but here comes Shieldred. Soul Transfer on a 4/4 that can't even attack or block? What? Okay. Well, did not see that coming. It's an Anvil deck. Also did not see that coming because I thought it was Jund. Are you gonna sack your blood token? You are gonna sack your blood token. Okay, so this will give us 5 mana, which means we can use to bounce the Anvil if we want to with the Channeler. Or we can play Fable the Mirror Breaker to get a 2/2 out to block the 1/1 should it attack. But we'll still take a lot of damage next turn if we do that. The Channeler can bounce the Anvil, and then it can block maybe the 3/2 or the 2/2. It could also bounce the 1/1. So that the Anvil doesn't have anything to sack except from the treasure token that the Goblin Shaman is going to create. No, I need to bounce the Anvil. The Anvil is too strong. Block the 2/2 that makes treasure tokens, or block the 3/2 that makes blood tokens. That is an interesting proposal here. Probably block the 3/2. The 2/2 we can bounce again next turn. But he's just gonna play the Anvil again? No, not the Anvil again? Go down pretty low here. He sacked his mana instead of treasure? I mean, instead of clue? Interesting. Well, going to my turn, none of those is going to help. We can channel this out, and then the Kikijiki won't get too much effect. But we'll still take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the Anvil, so we'll still die if we don't do anything else. So we can Aether Channeler to bounce this. We can Boseiju the Kikijiki. We'll take 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll take 4 damage next turn. We'll go down to 2. But then that means we don't play a land this turn. Well, we already played a land this turn. So, we definitely have to play the Aether Channeler this turn. Okay, and then the Mirror Breaker 2/2 can block potentially one of these, maybe? Really, it depends on what card he has in his hand. It's definitely not land, because he hasn't played any lands yet. Let's just hope all he draws are Invoke, and he has no lands to play it. What the heck is that? Return target card. If it's spell, you gain 2 life. One, two, three. I mean, I'll block the one you can't sack. Okay, second Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Definitely won't be needing that. Won't be needing the Overcharge Amalgam. I don't be needing any cards in his hand. I need to draw a Titan or something not stupid. Well, something stupid came up, so we're gonna die. Alright, that was very disheartening. Maybe this is not a good deck. Honestly, I've seen the Titan once this entire day, and I've only got mana out to not play the Titan. Oh, we get to go first. Look at that. We have hit the pity mark that the game lets us play first. So basically, I've learned this from playing Magic Arena the whole year last year. If you are bad at the game will let you go first more often. That's the way the algorithm is designed. In addition to that, if you play a monocolored deck, you also have a higher chance of going first, because if you play a monocolored deck, you're probably bad at the game already. At least that's what the game thinks. I'm not saying that's definitely true. But being able to go first really gives you more chance to win. And so that's what the game is designed to do for newer players. Alright, we're going to Fable. And our Fable is going to create a 2/2. Tap treasure. And we're not going to attack. You can attack us for 3. I don't care. We can gain life right back. If you play a Rafine, we're going to fire victory that guy real quick. Rafine? Rafine? I don't know what else I can play. Void Ren? I mean, I guess I can't counter that. Also, did not see that coming. Alright, so we can fire victory to Tenacious Underdog, but why would we do that when we can just attack? Alright, and we'll hold up Overcharge Amalgam if we need to. We can sack the treasure token guy to counter whatever spell he makes. Taking 3 damage isn't too much. And we're making a treasure every turn if he doesn't play anything, so that's also okay. I guess I will fire as a victory this turn and let him counter that if he wants to. Obscure Interceptor. Alright, we get our card back. Does not connive. And now, I guess the question is whether or not we want to burn down the house, right? Burn down the house gives us a 2/2, or gets us 3 1/1s. And then our 2/2 will give us, yeah, that's pretty good. We can create a, well, get all 3, right? +1/+1, tap treasure token, gain 2 life. this, and this? Sure, why not? Of course he's gonna block the Treasure Maker. And we have now Make Disappear, which we can casualty, not connive. We're not gonna block. He keeps attacking with his underdog like he's deep down. But we just resolved a burn down a house. Me Hook Massacre. I don't think so. We even want a casualty, we don't need a casualty. Okay, so if this costs 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we have 2 mana left for Overcharge Amalgam, so I don't want that. But I do want to play a land out. Our Fires of Victory only does 2 damage, but we can live with that. Okay, so he's not going to play anything. He knows we have Fires of Victory. I mean, I just wanted to draw a card. I guess you're giving me a draw anyways. There we go. Alright, then we can play our Fable. Can we play our Fable? Yeah, we can play our Fable. Colorless, red, and colorless. Fable. Okay, and then we can get our... I don't need a tap treasure token, but +1/+1 is probably better. I'm not letting you underdog blitz me. You're gonna attack me. I don't care about that. Shieldred? Oh no. No Shieldred. Let's see, we get another +1/+1 counter. And we can sack this devil. So this is the kind of game that I was envisioning when I made this deck. Alright, so now we have... Probably missed lethal. Actually, they're not missed lethal here. Bounce that. There you go. GG. Alright, so that's kind of the game I was envisioning. It took me an hour to get to a win, but I think it was worth it just to experience what the win is like in this deck. If I win one more turn, my Fable would have flipped, and then I would have gotten more into that, you know, infinite sort of looping type of game. Now, obviously, I do think there's a lot of fine-tuning that needs to be done. Maybe cutting Fire of Victory is warranted because it hasn't been doing that well. Gallo Greeter is a great card, probably should run 4 off. Torch Breath is something maybe I also need to run 4 off against those pesky counterspells. That's a consideration to be made. Make Disappear really hasn't been playing that well because I don't have that many early game cards, so another ETB creatures could be useful. And then Topiary Stomper. It's been good, but not that good, right? I maybe cut Topiary Stomper because there's too many 3-drops on the 3 slot is also something to consider. Now, the Titan of Industry, if it came out, it would have been amazing, but it never came out. It's not really a card that's performed well today, but definitely not something you can cut. The high end of Titan is how we win, how we should be winning these games. So that's kind of the deck idea. I'm going to kind of fine-tune it, and I'll try to play it all throughout the week to see whether or not I can make this slightly better, but that's kind of the deck that I'm going to try out for now. Thank you very much for joining me. See you guys next time.